Mr. K.K. Kapila, Chairman, IRF, Geneva Program Center, Mr. R.P. Indoria, Director General and Special Secretary in the Ministry of Road Transport, Dr. V.K. Yadav, President, Indian Road Congress, Mr. Hubert Nouve Joseran, World Bank Operation Advisor India, MS Sibile Rupashet, DG IRF Geneva Program Center, Mr. Sinha, Mr. Rajpal, distinguished invitees. I'm indeed very happy to be here today amongst a galaxy of professionals from India and abroad on the occasion of the inauguration of this extremely important conference on road safety strategy in India, an action plan being organized by the India chapter of International Road Federation. Road safety is no longer a task which can be put on the back burner. It can't be neglected at any cost. We all know, and as the earlier speakers have mentioned, that globally in road accident, more than nearly 1.3 million people die, nearly 50 million people get injured, and which is happening every year. In India, it was mentioned earlier that nearly 350 persons leave home to work for attending for other activities, but never return as they become victims of the disaster on wheels every day. Road accidents being dispersed in time and space across the whole country, it does not become visible to all, and individual cases are not considered sensational enough for media to project quite often. Thus, these small events across the nation give rise to this monstrous disaster, wiping out a population equivalent to that of a small size cities every year. In addition, a huge population many more times the number of deaths is injured and disabled for life. A study by the Planning Commission had indicated in 2000, and it was mentioned earlier by a number of speakers, that around 55,000 crores are lost every year. Now, in terms of the amount, this amount would be much more, as it is now around 2 to 3% of the GDP, and the GDP being now around $1.4 trillion, this amount is really enormous. The United Nations resolution in March 2010 has felt that governments, international financial institutions, the donor community, and development activists all have to collectively meet this challenge and to commit to a decade of action for road safety. Accordingly, the theme of the conference is totally aligned to the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety, which was launched globally on the 11th of May 2011. International Road Federation is a worldwide organization and is doing a human service to the road sector across the globe in all the key aspects of sustainable development of road network through its technical support system, covering safety, financing, technology and environment. Since last 5 to 6 years, International Road Federation India chapter has been playing a leading role to attend to the gigantic problem of road safety in India. The government and private agencies are being motivated to realize the gravity of the road safety problems and to contribute to the cause in the best possible way. The Road Transport Ministry has already suggested, as Mr. Indora in his very detailed presentation mentioned, a number of steps being taken in this regard and initiatives being taken by them. In addition to that, as India prepares for its 12th plan, and the Planning Commission is engaged in this task along with the various ministries, we have to consider how we can undertake this, this task and achieve the objective which was mentioned earlier by Dr. K.K. Kapila, the major objective being how to reduce the road accidents by 50% by 2020. Now, this is a major task, and for that an action plan will have to be devised. As we prepare for this action plan, which will be a part of this 12th plan exercise which we are doing currently, and we hope to finalize this sometime by March to next year, we hope that a number of initiatives will be taken up. Let me enumerate some of them. One will be a series of legislative initiatives regarding the amendments in the Motor Vehicles Act, and having new provisions for road safety boards and others, which will really strengthen the legislative framework for road safety. Second, and I consider it one of the key areas, is of education. This education should be of all stakeholders, and in my opinion, this should start right at the beginning. I find that the ministry has taken steps to work out with CBSE a curriculum for road safety education. This CBSE starts really much later. It is important that from class 1 to class 5, that is the formative stage of the children. If we are able to instill in them a feeling of road safety, a feeling that this is important for them, this is going to stick in their mind for all time to come. It is therefore important, and we would try to work out with the ministry and with the Ministry of Human Development, Human Resource Development, this is strategy of sensitizing children and having a curriculum in which this has an important part along with other activities. There is a need also for educating the other stakeholders, which was mentioned, the persons who are driving the vehicles, those who are engaged in building roads, all those pedestrians who are using it. There is a need for sensitizing all other stakeholders, and this process also has to be worked out as a part of a very conscious strategy by us. The third important point which needs to be developed is the infrastructure. Just now we have been developing roads on the public-private partnership basis, expanding them from 4-lane to 6-lane, trying to have access control, but this alone will not be adequate. We have to see the requirements of pedestrians, the requirements of users of roads, and to ensure that when we build up these roads, there are no unwanted or undesirable persons using the road, persons who are not expected to be there, because when that happens, that's a sure remedy for an accident. It is therefore important that when we build up these roads, we provide for facilities for people who are living on the way, so that they are able to cross the road, they are able since they are living across. So wherever that happens, it is important that we provide such underpasses or overbridges for people using the road. Similarly, for infrastructure development, we take up in the towns and in smaller towns, we have to see that as the roads get widened, we provide for appropriate safety measures in development of the roads. The infrastructure should also include, as was mentioned earlier, the need for trauma centers. Some centers have been opened, but these are not adequate, and we have to expand this so that these facilities are available across the length and breadth of the country. So people, if they meet with the accident, unfortunately, they do not, these are not fatal. It is important that these facilities are also taken up. Infrastructure also includes availability of ambulances at call, so that we are able to call them and quickly take away the patients who have met with an accident. So this process will have to come up. Extensive development of the road infrastructure, of the development of the infrastructure for users of vehicles, and education. So these are the two important areas. The third area, I would say, is technology. It is important that now new technologies have come up. We saw just a demonstration just now how this technology is being used for collection of road statistics. It is also important that for road signages, for road demarcations, we use all modern technology so that it is easy for the drivers and for the users to use the roads. We also have to develop technologies so that we are able to provide for pedestrians, for those cyclists at some places to use the road. So we have to therefore have technologies. So these three areas should have an importance in the 12th plan. A, legislation, B, education, and C, technology, and of course the infrastructure. These are the 4 important areas I feel in case we are able to do, then I think we would be able to bring out an action plan. I hope that as the deliberations take place in the conference, these would be given adequate importance. A series of conferences are being held at the behest of IRF India chapter, are making a mark because they will focus on quality and focus contents, I hope, and that has become, I understand, an annual event of very high significance. Government and road authorities can heavily draw upon from the recommendations of such conference, and we in the Planning Commission will really look forward to these recommendations. The organizers have planned the conferences in a very systematic manner. As I was going through the technical sessions, there are technical sessions for each sub-themes. I understand for the 5 pillars of road safety covered under the decade of action, there are huge detailed sessions planned. India is yet to draw up a concrete action plan for alleviating the road safety concerns, and as I mentioned, we would be able to, based on these recommendations, and as we prepare for our 12th plan, we would be able to prepare a plan where we reduce the number of fatal accidents to 50%. I am confident that the discussions based on the shared knowledge and experience from other parts of the world will help us formulate an appropriate action plan. I look forward to having a set of the final recommendations so that it can be appropriately dovetailed within the overall development schemes of our 12th plan. I would like to thank IRF India chapter for taking up such a vital and most appropriate theme for deliberations, the recommendations of which will be of enormous value to all of us. I wish the deliberations in the next 2 days all success, extremely fruitful for every participant to the conference and for all the users. The concurrent activity of Inter-Traffic at the Rate of India is also a mega event for exposition of traffic technology from all over the world with the innovative products and services, and I am sure everyone here will be benefited from this exhibition which is being held, I understand, at Pragati Maidan. With these words, I once again thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity for addressing the gathering of such galaxy of technologists, engineers, and experts from all over the country and from the region and from number of other countries, and share my thoughts with you. I wish the deliberations of the conference all success.